Greetings one and all, this is Lloyd Brown, social media family. Welcome to my channel, baby. In a long black limousine. Dee. Oi! You gotta forgive me, people. I just go into tangents. Do you know what I mean? You know, somebody can just basically be having a conversation with me and he could utter a sentence. And if there's a song lyric in that sentence, I just get total recall. I don't know what it is. It just happens that way. But anyway, greetings, one and all. And many thanks for the positive responses I've been getting, the feedback I've been getting in just putting out these videos. I've made up my mind to just speak my mind and feel how I feel and relate to you how I feel about certain things within my work, within my day job, which is music, you know. And I know I've been kind of in and out of social media, and you know, I've had literally people phone me thinking that I was dead. I just wanted confirmation that I was alive, so to speak, you know. So it's kind of weird where before social media, you just keep yourself to yourself and what have you and yada, yada, yada. And then, you know, you link up with people. But of late, it's just been a point where we just seem to be losing people. And the news is more apparent, you know, as social media has grown, you know. So I'm just trying to keep in contact with you all, even though I might not see the eye of them flesh to flesh, not flesh to flesh. That's a different situation. I mean, eye to eye. That's what I... No. I'm not dealing with them services anywhere. I'm just trying to keep the link with everyone, even though we might not see each other face to face, eye to eye, so to speak. That's what I mean. And on today's video, I don't think it's really going to be a good one, because this one is pertaining to DJs and sound system man. Whether you're a club DJ, radio DJ, makes no difference to me. Sound man, whatever sound, if you're starting, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. But it applies to you guys. Now, you might not feel a way about it. You know, you might not be even business about it. But it is something that has been recurring for a long time. And I need to put this to bed right now. It's so funny. I don't do dubs anymore. No, I don't do them. I don't do dubs. I don't do specials. I don't do them. Jingles, not a problem. You know what I mean? You ask me to do jingles, I will do them. I will just basically line up a schedule of doing jingles and I would do them. Sometimes I will get back to you straight away. I try to, you know, but other things get in the way, like life. So I can't be that attentive just to give somebody a 30-second jingle when, you know, my bills need paying, or my kitchen's flooded out because my washing machine's on the blink. You know what I'm trying to say? You know the train of thought here? Right, so that's basically that. But I will try and do what I need to basically do. I don't do dubs anymore because I don't consider them necessary for the sound system, for the DJ, or for myself. That is my opinion. Simply because in a space of a year, on a year-to-year basis that I make my albums, right? I make an album every year. Some people find that amazing. Some people find that ridiculous. But to me, it's a way of emptying my brain. My brain is just so full of information and it keeps churning and churning and churning that I need to get it out. And if I don't get it out, I'm going to end up basically putting a jigsaw to my freaking head, cutting my scalp and clap and take my brain out and just ring it. You know what I mean? And it's totally understandable, overstandable why you have people like Van Gogh who cuts off his ear, or creative people who go through bouts of utter madness It's because of their creativity. They got so much thing going on in their head. And sometimes when they've got all of that stuff going on, they're not attentive to what's actually next to them. And that's not a bad thing per se, but it takes a special type of partner, special type of someone to really understand that, you know. So that's where the madness basically comes in. And once again, I've gone into a tangent and I don't know where I started from. Right, okay, rewind. Don't do dubs. I don't find them necessary for sound systems or for me personally. I spend a year making music. Well, not a year, but every year I release albums. Out of that year, right, my time is split into the production of the album and marketing the album, okay? And I'm going to explain it as best way I can. Now, I don't know about anybody else, but when I make an album, right, it's divided into the amount of days I spend on each track. And I've cut it down to an art where whatever amount of tracks I'm going to have on the album is the amount of weeks it's going to take to finish the album. So for example, let's say I'm making a 10-track album. That album is going to take me 10 weeks to make. How do you work that out, Lloyd? I'm going to tell you. I break it down into 7 days, right? Because I need 1 day to write the song. It might not even take a day. It might just take 15, 20 minutes. It might take 6 hours. But I give myself a day to make sure I have a full written song, right? Another day to build the rhythm track. Another day to voice on the rhythm track. Another day to bring in my pool of ultra talented musicians in on the track. 5, to mix the track. 6, to listen to the track with clean ears. And whatever needs to be put in or taken out, it's a final edit with that in that 6th day. And the 7th day is to basically do a final mix, right? So you multiply that by the amount of tracks you do, and that's the amount of time it will take. So for a 10-track album, it's going to take 10 weeks. And I discipline myself in making sure that I have all the things in place. So once I've done all of the tracks, I will bring in my guitarist. Remy would come down and play on all 10 tracks one time, not as I build the tracks. It doesn't make sense. It's not being productive in that way. So once I've completed all the tracks, I'll call Remy. So Remy, it's album time, bless. He will come down and he will play his guitar on all 10 tracks one time. Yeah. Same with any other session musician, right? And with any other collaborator that I've got. The only flexibility that I will have in the creative process is if I'm working with an artist that's not in the UK and we do e-sessions, so that I will just send a rough draft of the track to them. They will basically sing their parts on it. Then they send it back to me, and then I'll take the stems, which are the individual vocal and instrumental tracks, and then I will place them in the project and mix accordingly. That's the only flexibility that I will have, I'm willing to give in terms of my creativity, right? Because that's how it's done nowadays. E-sessions are nothing, you know what I mean? You don't have to be in the studio with them to record, but it would be nice. But, you know, with life, it doesn't necessarily work out that way. So that is basically the process. And then even after that, right? You got to get the tracks mastered. You got to get the album mastered. So you take it to someone, and mastering, what mastering is basically, is that when you have a final mix, although the mix sounds good, it's not a broad mix, because when you're EQing stuff, you know the graphic equalizer that you have, right? Now, you might have a graphic equalizer with 10 bands, 10 individual controls like this, right? And from the left, Sorry, my image is twisted around. So from the left, you will have the bass. And as you move forward into the middle, you go to the mid-range. And then from the middle to the end, you have the treble, right? So in an ordinary home studio setup, as it were, you probably have like a 10-band setup. When you go to a mastering place, just multiply that by another 10 or 6. So it's a bigger spread of EQ that you're going to basically have within the track. And that's what they do. They basically make the mix even bigger by putting elements of bass in frequencies that you don't have in a home computer setup. That is what mastering is about. And then when they're done, you get the master, and then the master will either be pressed on vinyl, pressed on CD, or released digitally. That is the process in a nutshell. And money is spent. If you're doing it properly, money is spent, right? At least, no, I'm not even going to go into the prices right about now, but it's a lot of money, right? To get everything done, plus paying for the musician that's going to work on your stuff. Once all of that is out of the way, right? And you release the project, and obviously it's getting played, and certain tracks are getting popular. For a sound man or a DJ to come to me and ask me for a special, he's not disrespecting the thing. He just basically wants to expand his business. And I totally get that, by having people full dance the thing, by making specials and things like that. But I've learned from a very early time in my career that that can put you in problems that you don't really need to be in. Because now it's got to a point where there are artists who scam sound system man and radio DJs by getting paid first and not performing dubs. I don't want to be in an element of the industry that has all of that, right? And that's not to say that I would practice scamming people either. It's just not my thing. But more central to the point I'm making is that I spent all that time making that particular song. For example, I'm making a reggae remix of Jack and Jill, right? I don't want that song that I've made to be pushed to the side so that the sound system can basically play their version of Jack and Jill. Why do I want that? I don't want that. I want the people that come to your dance to hear the original tune. Now, one person that has proved case in point, David Rodigan. Like him or loathe him, I don't care. But the point of the matter is, I have seen David Rodigan play in a dance, right, with no dubs, not one, and had the people them going nuts. That is what music is supposed to do. Now with the whole dub plate thing, I remember back in the day when you go and hear a sound man clash, right? And, you know, man and man will pick out their dubs and what have you, one for one and yada, yada, yada. And it was a more intense, exciting, sensory thing that was going on. But now dub plates are just, they've just been cheapened. There's no value in a dub plate for me, because you can have people that call themselves DJs that's basically ripped off a whole heap of tunes from YouTube, right? And they call themselves DJs, and then they're gonna want people to basically voice dubs for them when they originally stole your product to begin with. Please, that's not happening. My head can't take that. My head can't take that, and I consider that foolishness. And with foolishness, I abstain from foolishness. You know what I mean? But that's not to say that the whole dancehall culture is foolishness. It's not. It's not. I love the dancehall culture. I came from a sound system culture. That's where I served my apprenticeship in the sound system, from the sound system, becoming a vocalist and becoming an established vocalist, becoming an established vocalist and becoming an established international vocalist. Some people love to use the word international and they don't even come out of their manner. You know what I mean? But I've been where I've been, and I know that within my craft, my name is known all over the world. Do you know what I'm saying? So why am I going to make dubs? Why am I going to make dubs? Do you know what I mean? For the fact that you're playing my tune, yes, you're full dance the thing. But then if I make a dub for you, then that means that all that work that I put in my original song goes to waste. Because it's not a universal thing I'm singing about. I'm singing about your sound and your DJs and your selector or what have you. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, and I have respect for you in that regard, but it's got to work both ways, man. It's got to work both ways. And that could be your argument to me too, but dub plates and specials, to me, they're too much aggro. Because now you have things like splice dub and this and that. What are you doing with that? What are you doing with that shit? You know, and then you have sound man that they want to write you the lyrics of the special that they want you to sing. That's not making a special, that's production. Then why produce you? You know what I mean? That's different from a special thing. If you're writing lyrics for me to specifically sing on, you're producing me. So you need to pay me producer money. You know what I mean? That's what you need to do, not sound man money. Because you're molding me as to what you want me to sing. And that costs extra. But rather get into that mire of foolishness and confusion and BS, I take myself out of it. That is why I don't do specials. I don't do dub plates. And furthermore, I'm going to tell you something else I don't do either, right? The rumor is true. I don't do PAs. I do not do PAs. I don't do them for the simple reason I don't have to. I shouldn't have to. And I shouldn't feel that I need to either. I have too much catalogue, repertoire. I've got 20 albums. That's like at least 200 songs, at least 200 songs, that of which I'm only going to be singing 3 songs if I do a PA, if that. Sharing the Night, Main Squeeze, probably Love You Down. But if I only got time to sing 2, it's going to be guaranteed Sharing the Night and Main Squeeze. That doesn't encapsulate my catalogue of material. It doesn't. And when you do PAs, and I've seen this live and I've seen this in YouTube videos, there were times where I saw artists doing PAs and you can hear people just chattering. They're just chattering. And then the sound man, them, they feel when your time is done on the stage, they will turn you down. No DJ is going to do that to me. None. The last time that ever happened, I halted the proceedings and I told the DJ, I said, you see that 7-inch piece of plastic on your turntable? What is that? Yeah, your tune, man. Are your tune? No, it's not my tune. That's the tools of your trade. And I'm giving that to you. Oh, you for disrespect me and turn down my thing when you want to turn it down, not when I tell you to turn it down or ask you to turn it down. That's why with the whole PA thing, that's why I don't do the PA thing, because there's so many parameters of how your art can be disrespected by what the audience does and by what the DJs does. And it's just habit why they do it. You know what I mean? So for me, abstain from foolishness. I'm not into all of that. That's why I don't do PAs. So believe the rumors, sound system, man, woman, DJs, radio DJs, club DJs, internet DJs, teeth in tune off of YouTube DJs. The rumours are true. I don't do specials. And promoters, I don't do PAs. I don't do PAs. The day that I would do a PA is when I see Beres Hammond do a PA. If I see Beres Hammond do a PA, I'll do a PA, guaranteed. But until I see Beres Hammond do a PA, men nah do no PA. See? And that's no disrespect. But I think I'll be doing my fans a disservice if I go on stage and do a PA and I only can sing 2 tunes while you got 1,000,001 DJs in the dance. What kind of foolishness is that? Abstain from foolishness. That's why I don't do PAs. So I hope that you have a better understanding as to why I don't do those things anymore in my career, in my work, okay? And I hope that you don't take offense at what I just said. But if you do, I can't help you. I can't do nothing for you, man, as Flavor Flav would say. Can't do nothing. If you feel away, you just feel away. But it's my life. It's my work. You know what I'm saying? My work needs to be seen in its truthful light, in its honest light, in its brightest of light. And it's not going to be done with PAs and specials. I'm sorry. It's not going to be done. So it's with that, I'm going to bid you adieu for now. And as always, abstain from foolishness. And until I catch you on the next one, thanks for stopping. Bye. Thanks for watching. Megan. Wrong button.